Hello students. Today we will be doing chapter 4 from your textbook. I hope you have revised all the other topics that I have covered in my previous videos. Now moving on to our topic for today. Cognitive processes are all those higher level functions of the brain by which we become aware of and understand the world around us. Psychologists call higher level functions also as executive functions. These functions are really important for us to understand the world, to make sense of the world, and to make decisions. Cognitive processes are studied in a branch of psychology called as cognitive psychology. Once you go into graduation and masters in psychology, you will be learning about cognitive psychology in detail. Now, let us just go through the basics of cognitive psychology in this chapter. Now, cognitive psychology consists of processes like sensation, attention, perception, learning, memory, forgetting, thinking, problem solving, reasoning, decision making, etc. All these are part of your cognitive processes. Attention. What is attention? According to psychologists, we continuously sense many stimuli from our surroundings through our sense organs. However, we do not become aware of all of them at one time. We focus and become aware of only few stimuli from them. Therefore, attention is considered as a selective process. I'm sure you would be wondering, what does this mean? For example, while I am sitting in this room and recording your class, I can hear many noises around me, but my focus is on teaching y'all, and the other noises and the people around me and the other various stimuli around me are blanked out from my attention. This is how our brain helps us in focusing on different stimuli. Moving on to the definitions of attention, you can probably learn one definition for your exam. Let us look at what Guilford says about attention. Attention is the process of focusing on one or few objects, persons, or situations from among many from the field of awareness. Norman Munn says that attention is the mental process of bringing few stimuli into the center of awareness out of many stimuli present. Span of attention. Before moving on to the explanation, let me give you an activity. Look at the screen and try to remember these letters. Now try to recollect them. Make a note of it in your notebook. Researchers say that our span of attention is limited to 7 to 8 digits or alphabets. So, you would have not been able to remember all 9 letters, but about more or less these digits. So, that is what is called a span of attention. Span of attention can be described as the total number of stimuli that we can become clearly aware of at a particular glance. This is the reason why digits in postal PIN code or vehicle numbers are never more than the limit of 7 to 8 digits. The factors like age, intelligence, practice, experience, habits may affect the span of attention. Now, if I give you these letters again and again to learn or to see, you would be able to remember all of them when I ask you to write it down. Distraction of attention. Now, since most of your classes are being conducted online, you would be using your phones or laptops that have already having a lot of distractions like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and whatnot. So you would be getting notifications of your messages from your friends, relatives, and other social media, and that would be distracting your attention when you are trying to focus on your classes. Isn't that right? So, why does this happen? After focusing on a specific stimulus, such as your class that is going on various social medias like Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, your attention drifts away to another stimulus like your message from WhatsApp due to external or internal disturbances. Now, external disturbances can be intensity, size, movement, etc., like a loud noise from your neighborhood or a film that is being played at a loud volume by your neighbors can distract you. Or internal factors like your boredom, your lack of interest, your fatigue, or that you have been through a bad breakup can also affect your attention levels. Division of attention. You would have observed people eating and watching TV, knitting and watching TV, or even your mothers chopping their vegetables while watching TV. How does this happen? This is because we are able to actually do multiple tasks at a single time. But researchers say that although we are able to do, we cannot do it very well because we can make a lot of mistakes and the efficiency will decrease. There will be a lot of confusion as well. Hope this point is clear. Fluctuation of attention. To combat distractions from your WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, etc., you can activate the digital well-being that is present in your phones, and you can keep a maximum period of time wherein you don't want any distractions from your various notifications while you're paying attention and while you're studying. That can help you to some extent to not use and be addicted to these websites. Fluctuation of attention. Attention keeps oscillating like a pendulum of the clock. We cannot pay attention to a single stimulus for a long time. Our attention shifts towards one stimulus for a fraction of time and comes back to the original stimulus. This is known as fluctuation of attention. In our day-to-day language, we call it as zoning out. So when you're paying attention to anything, suppose a lecture that is given by your teacher or even this YouTube video, you would be zoning out for a minute or a few seconds and be coming back to the topic. This is what is called as fluctuation of attention. The factors like fatigue, lower interest, attractiveness of other stimuli may lead to fluctuation of attention. Like as I said, notifications on your from your phone or people around you calling you to do some work can also affect your attention.